Sponge cake is used to represent stratigraphic layers. Breadcrumbs are sprinkled to simulate aeolian deposits. Fauna are represented by paper cutouts. The fossils are represented by pine nuts. Slices of cheese represent the layer of ground at the time of an impact. Once upon a time, a geologist was making a cheese sandwich when he got the idea that he could use it as a model for the impact origin of the Carolina Bays. He sliced a sponge cake and laid part of it to represent an ancient stratigraphic layer where diverse fauna multiplied and prospered under typical uniformitarian geological processes. Erosion from wind and water modified the landscape through the seasons in a predictable way. When the fauna died, their skeletons returned to the earth and sometimes fossilized. The landscape continued to change with its usual consistency, and dust carried by the wind gradually varied the landscape. Over the centuries, new stratigraphic layers were created by ordinary aeolian and sedimentary processes. The uniformitarian geological changes allowed life to thrive with its usual rhythm. Animals lived, propagated, died, and evolved in gradual steps as they adapted to the predictable changes in environmental conditions. The wind continued to deposit dust over the landscape, creating new stratigraphic layers. The geologists covered the landscape with a layer of cheese and said, "This is the base layer that marks the time when uniformitarian processes are interrupted by a catastrophic impact." The geologists grabbed a stratigraphic layer and overturned it over the base layer of cheese to form a raised rim adjacent to the newly formed cavity made by an imaginary projectile. The gap left by the overturned layer was replaced with a new layer to level out the terrain. The world returned to its uniformitarian regimen, and the aeolian deposition continued like before. Everything was covered with dust, and new stratigraphic layers continued to form. Dust, dust, and more dust. Impact cratering displaces material laterally by horizontal compressive forces and ejects debris ballistically to produce stratigraphically uplifted rims around the cavity. If we obtain a core sample from the rim of an impact crater, we would see the youngest material in the top layer, followed by older material excavated by the projectile from a deeper layer, and going deeper we will find the base material that was the surface of the terrain at the time of the impact.